They say, "You're just getting older." But deep down, something doesn't feel right. The aching joints, the foggy mind, the afternoon crashes, this doesn't feel normal. And here's the truth. It often isn't. You're not crazy. You're not lazy. And you're not broken. You might be dealing with something real and fixable. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on what's really going on when your body whispers, "Help." It's not just age. It's probably this. If you've ever been told to just accept it, but your gut says otherwise, hit subscribe. Let's age with clarity, not confusion. Share what symptom you've been ignoring. We're listening, and you're not alone anymore. Fatigue that lingers no matter how much you sleep. Brain fog that makes you forget why you walked into the room. Dry skin, thinning hair, unexplained weight gain. These are not just normal signs of aging. They are red flags your thyroid might be underperforming, and it's more common than you think. Hypothyroidism, an underactive thyroid, often goes undiagnosed in older adults because its symptoms are subtle and easily mistaken for general aging. But the thyroid is a master regulator. When it's sluggish, so is everything else. Metabolism, energy, mood, digestion, and even heart function. What makes this more complex is that many standard thyroid tests only look at TSH, thyroid-stimulating hormone, which doesn't always catch the full picture. You could have normal lab results but still have symptoms, especially if your doctor isn't testing for free T3, free T4, or thyroid antibodies. The good news, hypothyroidism is manageable. Treatment often involves thyroid hormone replacement, but don't stop there. Addressing nutrient deficiencies like selenium, zinc, and iodine, and reducing inflammation can support better thyroid health. And don't overlook stress. Chronic cortisol elevation can interfere with thyroid function too. If you've been told your labs are fine, but you feel anything but, don't settle. Ask for a more complete thyroid panel. Advocate for yourself. You know your body better than anyone. A tired thyroid doesn't just make life harder, it makes it smaller. Restoring its function could be the key to getting your energy, clarity, and vitality back. Forgetfulness creeping in more than usual, tingling hands or feet, mood swings or unexplained depression. These aren't always signs of aging or stress. Often, they're symptoms of a hidden vitamin B12 deficiency, and it's more common than you think, especially after 50. As we age, our stomach's ability to absorb B12 from food declines. That's because we produce less stomach acid and intrinsic factor, both crucial for B12 absorption. Even if you're eating enough meat, dairy, or eggs, your body may not be pulling in what it needs. Low B12 doesn't always show up in obvious ways. It can mimic dementia, cause balance problems, or trigger chronic fatigue. Many people are misdiagnosed with depression, neuropathy, or early cognitive decline, when a simple blood test and supplement could have changed everything. The good news? B12 deficiency is highly treatable. A daily sublingual B12 supplement, or, in some cases, B12 injections, can bring energy, memory, and nerve health back online within weeks. It's safe, affordable, and often life-changing. If you've been feeling off but can't quite explain why, don't ignore it. Ask your doctor to check your B12 levels, and don't accept normal if you're at the low end of the range. Optimal isn't the same as barely acceptable. Sometimes the answer to months or years of mystery symptoms is just one overlooked vitamin. Ever feel that 3 p.m. crash hit like a wave? Or snap at someone for no reason, then realize you haven't eaten in hours? Or maybe you're wide awake at 3 a.m., wired but tired. These aren't random signs of aging. They're classic red flags of blood sugar imbalances. As we get older, our ability to regulate blood sugar becomes more fragile. Even if you're not diabetic, you could be riding a roller coaster of spikes and crashes all day and night. That roller coaster silently wears down your metabolism, energy, mood, and even brain clarity. The culprits? Skipped meals, sugary snacks, refined carbs, and yes, even healthy foods like fruit juice or granola bars can push you into the danger zone without you realizing it. When blood sugar spikes, your body floods with insulin to pull it back down. But over time, your cells stop listening, and that's when insulin resistance and prediabetes begin. The symptoms? Cravings, fatigue, brain fog, weight gain around the middle, sleep disruptions, and more. The fix isn't extreme. It's consistent. Balanced eating. Include protein, healthy fats, and fiber with every meal. Avoid sugar bombs disguised as snacks. Walk after meals. Prioritize sleep. And get your A1C and fasting insulin levels checked, not just glucose. Your body's not broken. It's trying to tell you something, and stabilizing your blood sugar might just be the key to feeling like yourself again. You feel stiff in the morning, sore after mild activity, or mentally foggy by midday. You chalk it up to age, but what if the real culprit is silent and systemic? Chronic inflammation is one of the most underestimated drivers of aging symptoms. Unlike acute inflammation, which helps heal injuries, chronic inflammation simmers beneath the surface, damaging tissues over time. It's often caused by hidden sources, a poor diet, unresolved stress, environmental toxins, and even poor gut health. The signs? Achy joints without injury, slow recovery from workouts, digestive issues, brain fog, constant fatigue. These aren't just getting older. They're signs your body is in a prolonged state of internal distress, and it doesn't just make you feel older, it actually ages you faster. Inflammation is tied to heart disease, Alzheimer's, autoimmune, disorders, and more. But here's the good news. You can turn it around. Start with food. Cut back on sugar, refined carbs, and processed oils. Load up on anti-inflammatory staples like leafy greens, berries, turmeric, and omega-3 rich foods like salmon or flaxseed. Manage stress intentionally with breathing, movement, or mindfulness. Support your gut with fermented foods and fiber. And don't overlook sleep. It's when your body puts out the inflammatory fires. This isn't about perfection. It's about listening to what your body is trying to say and giving it the support it's been quietly begging for. Chronics. Inflammation isn't inevitable, and feeling better might be closer than you think. You get your 7 or 8 hours but still wake up groggy, foggy, or unrefreshed. You assume it's just part of aging. But what if your body isn't actually resting, even when you're asleep? Sleep apnea is a silent disruptor for millions, especially after 50. It's when your breathing stops briefly during sleep, sometimes hundreds of times a night, without you even knowing. These interruptions jolt your brain out of deep sleep, repeatedly, preventing real rest. It's more common than you think, and it often flies under the radar. You don't need to be overweight or a loud snorer to have it. Mild sleep apnea can show up as subtle daytime fatigue, irritability, memory, lapses, or waking up with a dry mouth or headache. Left untreated, it does more than just make you tired. It strains your heart, raises blood pressure, worsens insulin resistance, and increases the risk of stroke and dementia. So, if you wake up tired, nod off easily during the day, or your partner says you snore or gasp at night, don't brush it off. Talk to your doctor. A simple sleep study, done at home or in a lab, can provide answers. And treatment doesn't always mean a big machine. Sometimes lifestyle changes, positional sleep aids, or dental devices can make a world of difference. You don't have to. Just deal with it. Real sleep should restore you. If it's not, your body might be trying to tell you something important. Listen to it. You start feeling off, dizzy, forgetful, low on energy. Everyone says it's just getting older. But sometimes the real culprit is sitting in your medicine cabinet. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to medications. What once worked fine can now cause side effects that mimic aging. Fatigue, brain fog, confusion, dizziness, poor balance. These are often not just from age, but from the medications meant to help you. And here's the truth. Many older adults are taking too many medications or combinations that don't play well together. It's called polypharmacy, and it's a quiet epidemic. Blood pressure meds, antidepressants, sleep aids, statins, and even common over-the-counter drugs can interfere with your body's natural rhythms and brain clarity. Sometimes doctors add a new medication to treat the side effect of another, creating a spiral. But you don't have to stay trapped in that loop. If you've noticed a change since starting a new prescription, or you're on 5 or more meds, it's worth having a full medication review. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to go through them with you. See if anything can be reduced, swapped, or removed entirely. Your symptoms might not be normal aging at all. They might be reversible. Energy, mental clarity, and balance are not luxuries. They're your right. Don't let unnecessary medication steal them from you. Hormonal changes aren't just a part of aging. They're a key reason many men and women feel off. For men, declining testosterone levels can bring fatigue, muscle weakness, mood swings, and a drop in libido. Women face shifts in estrogen and progesterone, especially during and after menopause, leading to similar symptoms like irritability, low energy, and decreased motivation. These hormonal imbalances can affect more than just how you feel physically. They impact your mental health and overall quality of life. But here's the important part. These changes aren't inevitable or untreatable. With proper testing, many hormone levels can be balanced safely through lifestyle changes, nutrition, or medical support when needed. Recognizing these shifts and addressing them head-on can restore your vitality and improve mood, strength, and desire. Don't accept it's just aging as the full answer. Hormonal health matters deeply for feeling your best after 50, and it's something you can take control of. Weakness, fatigue, and bone pain are often mistaken as just signs of aging, but they may actually point to a vitamin D deficiency. This is especially common in people over 50 who avoid sunlight or have darker skin, which reduces the body's ability to produce vitamin D naturally. Without enough vitamin D, bones can become weak and fragile, increasing the risk of fractures and falls. Checking your vitamin D levels and supplementing if needed can greatly improve energy, bone health, and overall well-being. Don't ignore these symptoms. Addressing vitamin D deficiency can help you feel stronger and more vibrant as you age. Feeling constantly drained, anxious, or emotionally flat isn't always about physical aging. It can be a sign of emotional burnout. The weight of unhealed stress, unresolved worries, or ongoing pressure takes a toll on your mental and physical health. This kind of burnout can sap your energy, cloud your mind, and leave you feeling overwhelmed, even if your body feels okay. Recognizing emotional burnout is the first step to healing. Practices like mindfulness, talking to a trusted friend, or professional support can lighten this load and restore your vitality. Feeling lonely or disconnected can take a real toll on your body and mind. When you lack purpose or meaningful connections, symptoms like aches, trouble sleeping, and depression often follow. What many mistake for just aging may actually be your body's way of signaling a deeper need for community, belonging, and support. Rebuilding connections through social activities, volunteering, or simply reaching out to others can help ease these symptoms and improve your overall well-being. Aging with connection is aging with strength.